Hey everybody, it is Wednesday night and it's time for the Horror Syndicate Discourse. And tonight, excuse me, I don't know, like every now and again I get the burps right as I go live. But tonight we're going to be talking about another John Carpenter movie because this has been the year of Carpenter for us. We've talked about The Thing, In the Mouth of Madness, Vampires Now, and I'm sure we've talked about Halloween at some point. I feel like there's other ones. Prince of Darkness, who knows? And we might talk about one more before the end of the year. We'll get to that later. But we are talking about John Carpenter's Vampires, probably one of the better, if not the best vampire movie of the 90s. Seth may argue that, even though he loves John Carpenter, because he's a big subspecies horror, and that's okay. We love that about him. So let's bring Seth and Jared in, and before I do that, I just want you guys to, if you don't like us on Facebook yet, please do. We go live every uh, Wednesday and Friday, and something new starting next week, which I will get to in a bit. And subscribe on the YouTube, please, so we can get more subscribers. That'd be fun. So anyway, am I wrong? You're a subspecies horror. Come on.
I fucking love the subspecies movies, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I could put them above a Carpenter movie.
I feel a vampire movie ranking coming on.
Yeah,
All encompassing, you know. Anyway, how you doing tonight?
not too bad. Are you?
I'm pretty good. Jared, how's it going? Slayer Mahogany? Should I be Slayer Teak? And Seth can be Slayer Ebony?
Slayer Major Chubby.
Major Chubby.
Yes, we can all have our own little
Yeah.
niches there.
So Nate's not with us tonight, so we took the opportunity to talk about a movie that he would more than likely not want to talk about, which we do wish him well in his coming journey. He'll be back soon. But we're going to talk about John Carpenter's Vampires, and we're going to end up having all the Carpenter movies covered very soon because we've done Prince of Darkness this year, In the Mouth of Madness. We've done The Fog before.
Yep.
The Thing. What are we missing here? We haven't done They Live,
Uh,
Ghost of Mars,
yeah.
which
The
we might.
Ward, if you want to add that to it.
I have never seen that, so we should do it at some point so I can actually watch it.
I'd be fine
Yeah.
for that.
Because I think I own it. I just have never watched it. But yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with doing Carpenter movies because I think we all, for the most part, love John Carpenter. I mean, Seth does for sure. Jared, I know you love a bunch of his movies, but I don't know how deep your love goes. Does it go to the bone?
Maybe not necessarily to the bone, but his substantial work sits strong among everyone. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
Steph and I were talking about something a couple days ago, and we were talking about doing like on our Friday show that we've been doing, which you're more than welcome to come on anytime you have time, buddy. But we were talking about doing a versus, like he would defend Carpenter, which he could do. He probably does it in his sleep, and I would
all
defend,
night long.
yeah, right, and I would defend Craven's movies, and I'm like, well, I'm not that big of a fan of Wes Craven's stuff. I mean, if you look at his filmography, he's got like 2 or 3 really good movies, and the rest aren't that great. What do you think about that? Like Carpenter blows Wes Craven away, I think, by a lot, like a landslide, really, based on the quality of his movies.
I think I would agree with that too. Like, there's even standing like against if you did a versus between George Romero's movies,
Mm-hmm.
that would be an interesting conversation. There's not a lot of directors that can stand against Carpenter's filmography, honestly.
I don't think so, especially in horror.
Mhm.
I don't think. I don't. Oops, sorry. Oop, that's a spoiler. How did that happen? We're live. Nobody's watching. Well, people are watching, but anyway. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Romero's are kind of niche, I think, more than Carpenter's are, though.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So I think we will probably talk about this next week since Nate won't be on. But Ghosts of Mars, you guys in? I I haven't seen it since probably 2002 when I got the DVD, or 2000 whenever I got the DVD. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
I'm
Are
looking
you
forward to it.
down?
Natasha Henstridge, Ice Cube. What?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Jason Statham, I think, isn't he in it?
Jason Statham,
Yeah.
young.
Pam Grier.
Oh,
Yes.
That's right.
That's
Yes,
right.
let's
Yes.
do this. Let's do this. So, yeah, we're still. Oh, we did Christine too this year.
Yep.
Damn. We need to figure out what we're missing and just wrap it up with Carpenter and never talk about him again.
Okay, I'll put together a list.
I know you have. You already have a list. If you want, check it out. Seth did it's on our YouTube channel. It's the all 23 Carpenter movies ranked. And spoiler alert: Halloween is not number one. He tried to cop out and say, can I have a a tied for two or something like that, or wasn't it? What was that?
Oh, I did that with my Halloween ranking.
Oh, that's right.
Because
Yeah, you wanted
of Halloween 3.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a cop out, man. We don't do cop outs here, brah. So anyway, as you saw me pop up on accident, we have a rating system now that we're going to try to implement. Just got to get Nate on board for this show, but we did it last week on our Friday show, and it's basically rating 10 different categories and coming up with a score, almost like a Rotten Tomatoes score, even though Rotten Tomatoes is fucking bullshit. But we did each of us have our own, and we'll get to those towards the end of the show, and then we have the overall one, which has already been spoiled. So, because I'm a dipshit. So anyway, let's get into vampires. One of the things I want to talk about right off the top was it just kind of goes back to Carpenter's filmography and being so diverse. He's done a little bit of everything, and this is kind of his Western vampire film. And it was when I saw the poster at the theater, and I'm like, John Carpenter made Halloween, he made In the Mouth of Madness, and I knew this, and he made The Thing. I'm gonna go see this. Never saw a trailer. I had no idea, and I love James Woods because it's named at the top of the poster. And I was like, I'm gonna go see this without even. I don't want to see anything about it. I went in, had no expectations, and it was the fucking opening scene was amazing, dragging those vamps out into the sun, with the arrows and all that shit, and Valak rising out of the ground because they have him hidden separate from everybody when they have a nest like that. I'm like, this is a badass vampire movie, and it was all the way through. James Woods pulls off what his probably most badass character ever, in my opinion. And I never really cared for the Baldwin that's in this movie until this movie, And then you got the girl from Twin Peaks, Laura Palmer, in this as well, and she's actually pretty good. And then you got Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3 as the lead vampire. What more can you ask for? And then John Carpenter scores it. I mean, this is just a treat all the way around, in my opinion. What do you guys think? What are you? Let me know some of your first reactions, Jared, about when you saw it. Did you see this in '98 when it was released?
I didn't see it in the theater, but I can vouch that I had this movie on VHS.
Hell yeah, me too.
And I wore it out. Kind of like you said, that first 15 minutes of the movie completely draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so the movie's called Vampires. You're like, there's vampires and stuff. And then you see James Woods and a bunch of these guys, like that one guy that's gone on to do Sons of Anarchy and stuff. But beyond that, but you see a badass fucking vampire killing crew that we have never seen before on camera. Like, these guys got their shit together, or at least they think they do.
Is my shit together? Is my shit together?
Yeah. There's just so many wonderful things about this movie. But yeah, that's what got me, was probably the first 10 minutes of the movie, and that's even before the hotel scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then you get into the hotel scene, and that's got some fucking. It's shot differently than what I would expect from a Carpenter movie. in a scene like that, but it also has a lot of great kills and like, you know, I just Seth. What about you? You tell us what you actually. I'll be right back. Okay, I gotta I gotta do.
Dun, 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 dun.
I promise I'll wash my hands.
Yeah, I didn't get to see this in '98 when it came to theaters, but I did see it when it came to VHS, and I really enjoyed it. And like you guys were saying, like the opening scene is just really really cool. Just like having them like draw them out into the sunlight hooked to a winch was pretty awesome, and then just being set on fire and them collecting the skulls, and they have all these weapons, and like you said, they're a well put together crew. And then not too long after that, then you get into this like Mission Impossible type thing where the entire group is just suddenly taken out. And I did not expect that when I first watched it, because like when I first watched it, I don't even know if I saw the trailers for it, but like right from the beginnings, I thought it was going to be like a team movie. So I thought it was going to be about the entire team. Yeah. And then when that scene happens where Mark Boone Jr. opens up the door and Valak just, it was just like so cool. And I listened to the audio commentary today from John Carpenter. I listened to it on YouTube. And with what Ray was saying about how it was kind of like shot weird, like he decided to shoot some of it in like slow motion. And he was like kind of like playing with his style with that. But I just figured I'd throw that out there since Ray mentioned that. But
I mean, there's something to be said about the first 20 minutes of that movie, because it's nonstop action. You think you think you're lulled down into a little bit of relaxation when they're hanging out in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And then Valak shows up, and it's literally like 5 minutes straight of just mayhem. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, the story kicks off like right away, pretty much, because it's like they go into the nest, they clear the nest, and then there's that whole point of, well, where's the master? They're never not with the master. And then you get to the motel scene like right after. And then there's the whole thing where Valak knows Jack Crow's name. And so there's the whole thing of them being set up. So like I mean, the story takes off running pretty much like right from the beginning.
Yes. And when I was watching it today, I keep trying to relate it to other Carpenter's movies, but this one, he always brings something different every single time when you're watching his movies. Like, there's nothing to compare it to. There's nothing to relate it to. Like, this movie was 1,000% different from everything else he's ever done.
Yeah. That's what I love about it. Like, that's what I love about him as a filmmaker, though, is like he doesn't repeat himself. I mean, the only time he did that, like, because I mean, he's not a sequel guy, right? And like, the only time he did a sequel, he pretty much repeated himself more or less. Escape from LA. Well, which I have fun with. I don't hate it like a lot.
I don't mind that movie too much.
Yeah, it's fun.
I personally love the basketball scene myself.
Oh, I love that scene too, man. Especially knowing like that, like Kurt Russell, like he actually did that like long shot with a fucking eye patch, and he made that shot. That's cool.
All right. Hands are still wet. That's for Virginia from washing my hands. Anyway, you guys talking about Escape from LA?
Well, we were talking about, Jared brought up about how Carpenter's films are all different from each other. I don't know. You want to explain it to him, Jared? It was your thought. I don't want to steal it.
You're good. The only other one that he's really explored was the escape story.
Yeah,
and that's when I mentioned that my favorite scene from Escape from LA was the basketball scene.
I like the end that Ryan Johnson ripped off and put in The Last Jedi.
hard take.
It's true. If you watch that scene at the end of Escape from LA and then watch the scene with Luke in The Last Jedi, it's the same thing.
The hologram. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I mean, they're shooting at Snake, right?
Yeah.
And they're shooting at Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yep.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it.
Smoke it.
Brian Johnson, you fucking thief.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a good point though. On the screen, I actually kind of forgot about that because Ghost of Mars does have that assault on Precinct 13 type of feel.
Oh, totally.
But I forgot about that. But I mean, traditionally, if you look at it, the bulk of his work, like he doesn't repeat himself.
No.
and he usually doesn't make sequels except for whatever happened with Escape from LA. Fuck you. I love that video. I watch it once a week just to bring me up if I need to be up. So anyway, what did you guys get to discuss? Anything else while I was dropping to?
Yeah, we talked about how the story kind of takes off running, like right from the beginning. You have the whole thing, the whole question of where's the master, and then there's at the motel scene where Valak knows Jack Crow's name, and which propels the whole somebody fucking set us up storyline that takes it going. So
yeah, like there's no slowness at all. It literally just keeps going from beat one.
Yeah. The only slowest part, and it's not really that slow, is whenever Montoya takes the girl to the hotel or whatever.
Hotel.
Yeah. And is that your wife? No, it's my fucking mother, or whatever he says. And then then Jack has to bury the bodies and cut off the heads and all that shit, and then visit the thing is, I want to say this, and it's something I noticed early. The guy that they had play, and I can't think of his name now, the Cardinal.
Yep.
He looked like a villain, a stock villain to me. And when I'm watching the theater, I was like, he set Jack up. It's him. Yeah. I know it already. Unfortunately, I knew it already. But it didn't take away from the movie, because the rest of the journey was a lot of fun. Sean Sheridan, how you doing? Vampires is a great Carpenter movie. Brutal, gritty, great performances, old school fashion Western. Only negative, the plot slows down in the middle act.
Which is kind of what we were mentioning.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. But there's a lot of good dialogue in that act, and you learn a lot about kind of like the mythology of the vampire and Valak and all that stuff. There's a lot to it still. It's just not as fast paced as the first, the opening part. And the end really isn't very fast paced either, but it's a really satisfying ending in my opinion. Especially when, Jack and the father, I can't think of his name now, are walking away and he's talking about having a boner. So,
Father Adam,
yeah. When you stab that vampire.
A little bit.
Anyway, yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I still find the middle of the movie very enjoyable.
It's just, there's just a lot of because they cover a lot of ground with like the mythology and the lore and everything that's happening in it. So, like, in order to get everything down, there's a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
And like they use those scenes to, you have Montoya explaining things to Cheryl Lee's character.
Right.
Forget her name already.
Katrina.
Yes.
Katrina. Yep.
And then then you have everything with Father Adam and Jack Crow and everything about Valak and what the church knows and what they're telling them or not telling them.
Yeah, I like that stuff though. That's something I've always been interested. It's almost there's almost a Loomis quality about that stuff, that's what Loomis was there for in Halloween for the most part, was to talk about Michael Myers and why he's driven, and I don't know. I think, and the other thing, I'm kind of going back and forth, is how well casted I think this movie was. I saw a comment on our Facebook page where somebody said that they weren't buying James Woods the tough guy. I'm like, how? How could you not buy it? Like, he was great.
He's got the right attitude for that character. Like,
Yeah.
He's a very hard edged character. I mean, he's not like physically intimidating, but he's got the right attitude for that character.
What is it?
He's got the cockiness.
Yeah. Do you need to have a fucking muscle bound Arnold Schwarzenegger guy to, I guess coming from the 80s, sure, but I like the idea. This is just kind of, he's almost like an everyman, smoking a stogie, wears that leather jacket, black hair.
Scrawny people can be scrappers too.
Yeah, and he is kind of a badass in that movie. And I mean, I always liked James Woods and everything I'd ever seen him in.
We're about to have one good fuck of a fight.
Yeah.
I love his one-liners.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to bring up. Seth, did you ever read the book?
I have not read the book, but a buddy of mine has, and he says there's some differences. And then when I was listening to the audio commentary today, Carpenter talked a little bit about some of the differences here and there. But
What kind
I
of
do want to read it. I just keep forgetting about it.
Do you remember what they said?
I don't remember. I think there was I think Carpenter mentioned that the book made the group to be a lot more of like mercenaries, and they live in like a mansion and they party a lot or something like that. But
I like this better.
From what my friend told me, my good friend Darren was telling me that he likes the movie a lot better than the book, which is a rare thing. Not a lot of people say that,
No.
I'll say that about another one, Christine. I like the movie better.
Yeah.
And it's another Carpenter. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that's probably sacrilegious against our everybody's Lord and Savior of the novel world, Stephen King, but Anyway,
It's just your opinion, man.
it's just like your opinion, man. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know this was based on a book until I saw. It's funny because we decided last Wednesday that we were going to talk about vampires, just kind of on a whim. You just blurted it out, and I'm like, yes. But there's a Joe Blow horror. I don't know if you guys ever see those videos that they do. They put up a vampires video like the day after. So I watched that, and it didn't give much information that I didn't know about, but that was one of the things I didn't know that was based off of a book. I had no fucking clue. I just thought it was an original thing that Carpenter did. But no, I was wrong. And now I'm going to cry. Anyway.
Go for it.
Yeah.
You'll be okay, sir.
I
You will be
don't know
okay.
what to do with my life. Anyway, but not that I'd ever read the book because I don't read books. Who reads books? Seth.
I do.
Yes. Nerd. Nerd alert. Jared's nerd alert.
Yep. Big old fucking nerd.
So, what did you guys think of the story overall? Like,
I guess I can go first.
yeah,
The story overall was really gripping. Kind of like we were talking about, the first 15, 20 minutes of the story kind of kept you into it. You're locked into it. And then you have this, I wouldn't even consider it a lull because, I kind of dig historical stuff anyways.
yeah,
So when they started diving deep into about this, legendary black cross that nobody has ever found, it's been missing for 600 years or whatever. Like, immediately when the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, here we go. This is something fucking different. Like, story-wise, I thought this was pretty good. Like, I didn't realize this was based off a book either, like you guys said. I didn't know that at the time when I first saw it, but me being like a history buff, like immediately when they brought that in, I was hooked. Like, okay, where the fuck are they going to go from this now? They're totally changing like what we think about vampires. Like you get the feeling like this is a completely original idea of where we're coming from. Like this doesn't have to do with Vlad. This doesn't have to do with anything else. This is something different with their reverse exorcism that they try to do on Valak. Like it's just a fresh take that I never saw coming when I first saw it.
Yeah, and I like that. They tried to do something a little bit different, and I mean, that's kind of Carpenter's. You know, he does that. He does like to do things differently. And I agree with you 100%. I found the lore very engaging. You know, I like you love, you know, history and like I don't know, uncovering the truth of things is always a fun time for me. You know. Oh my God, it hooked me hard.
That's what she said. Just like that.
I dug the Black Cross making them into daywalkers. Yeah, that was super cool. Because they had to. That's another thing I really enjoyed was that they could be buried in the earth to not be out in the sun, and then when the sun starts to go down, you see them coming out. That scene was actually really fucking cool. The way it was shot, edited, was really cool.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah,
it's when all the masters are rising up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never like I've written a few vampire stories. I always feel embarrassed when I talk about my writing, but I wrote a few vampire stories in the past, and this was pre-vampire, John Carpenter's Vampires, and I never thought about that. Like it's always coffins or whatever, you know. It makes sense that they can be buried in the ground, you know. You definitely won't get any dirt on you. I mean, not any dirt, sunlight through the dirt if you get deep enough.
They're already dead, so they're not worried about breathing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, there's not much about this movie. Whoa, not much about this movie for me that I can even complain about. Really, like I guess I was looking for a complaint. My biggest complaint, I guess, would be the score. It was the same thing over and over, which was kind of disappointing for a John Carpenter score.
It's not my favorite score of his work, and like, I mean, I get what he was going for. He was trying to have like a more of a Western feel to it. You know, I think it works really well in certain sections, especially in the beginning, like the opening credits. And then there's certain action sequences where it does, and then there's other parts where, especially when it's during like the exposition moments, and you have it in the background, and it's okay. But
yeah, that mean doom. That's like God, he's overusing this.
Yeah.
Why did you do that on camera?
You talking about that?
Yeah. Jared the Music Man. Jared the Music Man, where are you going?
That was good.
I didn't know you played a guitar. Hopefully that doesn't.
I don't know how good you can hear that.
Get it, Jared.
Oh yeah, I learned that when that movie first came out.
That was cool. Thanks for your little musical thing.
That's all I got.
Hiya. Is that all you can play?
Actually, yeah.
I bought a guitar just for that song.
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 12. That's all I got.
Well, I knew that John Carpenter was going to release a Western type song, and I needed to get a guitar to play that. Oh man, that was cool though. Not the first time we've ever had music on the show though. Remember we had that synth guy. I can't remember who it was. Brian had him on.
Yes,
Who was
the artist's name is escaping me, but yes, I remember that episode.
He's from Goblin, right?
Goblin?
Yeah, wasn't he from the group Goblin?
No, I think he's from Sweden or something.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't think he was part of a Goblin, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. This was
Yes.
yeah, that would have been for sure. That would have been awesome if Ennio Morricone did the score for Vampires.
That would have been really cool, actually.
Yeah, I like the way that V thinks.
Yes.
This he came on the show last Friday and was dropping some stuff about the first Friday the 13th and how much he hated. Which one did he hate? Was it the remake? Or Freddy vs. Jason? There was something. Oh no, he hates Scream. That's what it was.
Scream, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a Scream series and dedicate it to him.
Yeah, but he's not gonna want. Anyway, so what else you guys want to talk about vampires? Fuck you guys. I feel like there's not as much to talk about now for some reason. Now after Jared just did the mic drop moment with playing the guitar.
That's the way you guys explained it earlier. He definitely wanted it to feel like a Western. Like I had the Twilight Time Blu-ray version, but it feels like the special features was like the DVD special features, but like it was all way behind. But that little beat, just like every Western was kind of, yes. But that beat that I just played on the guitar, it just follows throughout the entire song, through the entire movie. Like every major Western always has a signature chord, or I guess not a chord, but a signature rhythm that goes throughout the entire movie. That part I enjoyed about this because it did feel different. Yes, it had Carpenter's style through it, but it's so basic. Like you just kind of like you start getting on your head like dun dun dun, because we've heard that beat before. Like They Live had that same kind of beat. Dun, dun.
Oh yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yep.
Like that beats happened a lot.
Who does he think he is? Welcome to Jurassic Park.
No, but that's the only complaint I have about some of the stuff that he did in this song, because it does feel like some of the riffs were lifted from other movies that he's already done.
Yeah, someone actually mentioned Escape from LA as well. There is that sort of like that type of vibe with the music in that.
Yeah, and I always keep thinking of They Live whenever I see it too. So it's just like every time he's walking, if the harmonica's not there from They Live, if the harmonica's not there, it's like
You're a big fan. I know you got the Scream Factory, but the indicator is pretty cool. It is region free, and I only paid $20 for it.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. I mean, I regretted buying it because, I bought it and it was still in transit when the Scream Factory announced their version. I was like, son of a bitch. But I really, this is really cool and it looks great. So I know you get the Scream, but you love Carpenter. Why not? How many copies of Halloween do you have?
2 on Blu-ray and 1 on DVD.
Bullshit.
Huh?
Huh?
He's
Nothing.
Bullshit.
I have more actually than.
Ray probably has more copies than we both do.
I got 2 on DVD right behind me, 2 on Blu-ray. But you know what? I have 5 copies of Halloween, the first Halloween, on DVD and Blu-ray. I'm stupid. That's rookie numbers. What's your number? What do you got? Come on, tell us. Tell us. By the way, we have a horror syndicate group on Facebook too that you can join the group and start conversations. What I'd like people to do in the group is start showing their collections off, because I love seeing a good horror collection.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am kind of I don't know if it's bougie, but I'm the type of guy, like, if I get something on Blu-ray, I will sell my DVD off or get rid of my previous copy if I upgrade.
I should do that because I got a stack that's about this high over in the corner of replacements. I mean, that's off the floor. So, you know what's on top of the stack? Assault on Precinct 13.
Which you got to watch.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's in the room.
Well, you know, because I was like Jared, because like for a while I didn't really think about like the collector purposes. So like when I first got the Blu-ray, I gave away my DVDs, or I sold them to someone. But then a buddy of mine gave me all of his DVDs, so I got them back on DVD. And then the only reason why I have 2 copies of Halloween on Blu-ray, I shit you not, so I could have 1 copy with the Halloween movies and then 1 copy with my John Carpenter collection.
Yes.
I have my Carpenter collection all in chronological order of release.
Are they the same release though? That's the question.
Yeah, they're both from Scream Factory.
See, I
can get down. I can get down with that. You keep it on 2 different sections of your shelves.
Yeah,
so
they're
I got
right below each other.
I've got this one, and then I got the Scream Factory, which are different editions. But the one thing I was disappointed was there was one that was released before the Scream Factory came out, and it was like a white and orange cover, but the disc is actually in this set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't miss out. It's
Actually,
been a long time since we've talked about movie like collecting. We should do that soon.
Yeah. I actually, the copy of Halloween I have with my Carpenter collection is actually the Blu-ray in 4K.
Oh shit! I forgot about the 4K. I have that too.
I have yet to buy a 4K player, so I can't. I can't say anything about that.
I don't have a 4K player either, but I bought it anyway. I went and bought the Batman on Blu-ray, and I was looking around Best Buy, and they had Halloween 4K just staring at me. I'm like, it was $19.99. I was like, oh, I guess I got to, you know. And so I did, and so that and the Batman were my first 2 4Ks, which, you know, to justify getting Halloween on 4K, I had to get the Batman because there's only like $2 more in 4K than Blu-ray.
You know, I have a couple 4K that I started getting with no intention of getting a 4K player. Eventually, I will, but the reason why I started collecting some is because Scream Factory was doing like these releases of John Carpenter's movies, where it's the Blu-ray in 4K inside like this special like box, and it has like the vinyl record, and it came with a poster as well. So I was starting to get those, so I got them. And
yeah, so that's it. I can't. It's hard to get out of the case too, but it's
nice. Be nice to it.
Fuck this movie.
Fuck your couch, Charlie Murphy.
Let's see. Legit question: is there a Blu-ray or 4K Halloween with TV scenes included? The Scream Factory one has.
I was going to say the Scream Factory does have the TV scenes.
It has the TV. Yeah, it has the TV version, but I think it's DVD.
I think it's on one of the. There's 2 different discs on that version. But yeah, the TV scenes. I think the TV scenes are part of the special features, maybe.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's so we've got disc 2 has audio commentary with John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Deborah Hill. So I don't know if it doesn't say the TV version on there. It just says disc 2, so it might be just Halloween again. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever put this 2 in, but there is that special. There's a special features disc that came in Halloween 2. that it may be on that, which of course it doesn't say what's on there. I'm not pulling my whole collection out. I don't want to make Seth cry. I know he wants this.
He still doesn't have this?
Well, he's got something like it. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So that bonus disc has John Carpenter's Halloween, the extended version in HD. TV inserts are standard definition. So that's it. So it's
the TV scenes are in there, but they're just standard, not high def.
I do know. Oh my God! I forgot. I got another version of Halloween. Holy shit!
Holy moly!
So I got this. It's called the Mr. Sandman cut.
Ah, for Modman.
And it has those scenes in it, and they look really good. If we were Facebook friends, I could invite you to the group.
Yes.
But I can't say what it is too loud because, it's a private thing and it's legal. So, anyway. So we got off topic. Sorry for those who were here for vampires. But, we should do a collector show. It's been a long time since we've talked about our collections and stuff like that. We did a show, what was that, a couple years ago. Yeah, it's actually really cool. I've already looked into it. It's because he takes the first movie, puts all the added scenes into it, and then mashes the second movie right up against it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of jarring, to be honest, to go
and
without.
Then he has a Loomis cut too.
Yeah, he's got Loomis with all 4, 5, and 6. But anyway, it was Scream Factory versus Arrow, wasn't it, that we did?
Yeah, I want to say so, yeah.
Yeah, I got to show off all these fucking movies I've been buying for the last, I don't know what happened to me. I bought 4 or 5 movies, did a video earlier in the year, and then I was like, probably not going to get very many this year, and I got a stack of 30 that I've gotten over the past few months that last night in Soho was good. I ended up buying Saint Maud. It was $5. I was like, yeah, okay.
Good movie.
It's worth $5.
It is worth $5, yes.
Got that. Huh?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one thing I like about that group is you can get movies that aren't going to be able to be purchased.
Yes.
But anyway, what else do we want to talk about with vampires? You just want to have a kind of a chill conversation for the rest of the hour or whatever.
I mean, I got a couple of just small little fun facts that I
Let's
learned
do
from
it.
the audio commentary.
Bring it.
So, on top of taking inspiration from Howard Hawks and Sam Peckinpah, he also took inspiration from some Hammer films for this movie. So, for example, he was talking about how the scene where Daniel Baldwin's character Montoya cauterizes his vampire wound.
Oh, yes,
from
Peter Cushing.
Yeah. From
on his neck or on his arm. I guess either one of them.
Yeah.
Which one is that? The vampire Dracula's Brides.
Brides of Dracula.
Brides of Dracula. Yeah.
Yep. And then the other one was actually that one. The moment where Jack defeats Valak, how he knocks the pole down or whatever for the sunlight to come in. He said that was inspired by the scene from the horror of Dracula where when Van Helsing jumps onto the curtain and
that's such a great scene.
I love it. Yeah,
I do too. I fucking love that movie though.
Oh my God, I have not seen that in forever.
Oh Lord!
I own. Look at Bon Jovi and his beautiful face.
You own that movie, Ray?
Huh?
You own that movie?
Yeah, man.
I would have to rewatch it. I probably watched it once and was like, God, this is
okay.
dog
So this was one of those kind of blind buys. I bought it. When did this come out? 2002. And well, I saw it at Blockbuster Video, and I was like, oh, I want to rent that. And then
Los Muertos.
I saw it for $5, and I was like, oh, I'll just buy it. So I bought it and I watched it. And I'm like, okay, that's a movie.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
I liked the master, the lead vampire, whatever she was in that movie, though.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I say I didn't hate it, but when I watched it, it was around the same time where I thought Halloween Resurrection was good. So, I mean, you can't take younger me's opinion because
same year.
Yeah.
We should do a double feature. Los Muertos and Resurrection. They should make a third vampires movie called Vampires Resurrection.
Dun dun dun.
And instead of Bon Jovi, we can get the guy from Goo Goo Dolls. I don't know his name.
Oh my god!
The singer from Goo Goo Dolls. I mean, a boy named Goo. I couldn't think of anybody off the top of my head. What's more regrettable watching? I haven't seen all the way through.
Shit.
Yeah, so I can only say Vampire. I got about 15 minutes into Lost Boys too.
I would say both. Like it's, I can't really raise one more than the other.
I don't even own the second and third one. Was the third one any good?
I liked the third one.
The third one actually brought back Corey Haim. But
Corey
that's
Haim?
about, yeah.
Well, no,
Lost
Jameson-
Boys 3. Sorry, he compared the reader did that. Never mind.
It was Jameson Newlander because Haim was already dead by the time they made it because they were gonna. The plan was to bring him in it, like they were gonna get the three of them
maybe
together.
that's what I heard.
Right, but they acknowledged his character quite a bit with some flashbacks, and then there was like a scene where Edgar visits Sam's grave.
Maybe that's what I was.
Well, they made him
thinking.
dead in the movie.
Yeah,
His character was dead, and he was dead in real life too.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I thought he actually did make an appearance, like actually alive, in the third one. But I
no, he was going to, but unfortunately,
Yeah. Okay. Man, that's a toughie. So if we could actually rank From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Vampires 2, and Lost Boys 2.
I haven't seen From Dusk Till Dawn 2.
You've never seen it?
No, like the first one is perfection, and it. Well,
I actually really enjoy the From Dusk Till Dawn sequels.
the
especially-
Hangman's Daughter.
The Hangman's Daughter is actually really good. I love there's an awesome bar fight in that.
So they're streaming on Netflix or one of them. Let me look because I can't remember. But because I watched the first one yesterday for the first time in like a decade, and I had so much fucking fun with it. So I was like, I need to sit down and watch the other two. HBO Max has them because I want to watch the show too.
I remember Robert Patrick being in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third one takes place in the past, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might make a weekend out of it and watch some bad sequels.
Yeah, there you go. Marathon Vampires 2, Lost Boys 2, and From Dusk Till Dawn 2.
I gotta find copies of Lost Boys 2 and 3. I don't have it. Well, who did it in credits cameo and what?
I wonder if he's talking about Corey Haim. Because we were talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Our conversation. I mean, vampire movies have gotten really bad after this movie. Because I remember in, I think, 2000, there was a movie called Forsaken, or The Forsaken, that came out with like all these people from the WB.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ever see that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
saw that one.
he started spouting Metallica lyrics, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I mean, so this for a long time was probably the best vampire movie released up until maybe the remake of Fright Night, which I like. I have not seen the sequel to the remake. I have it, but I just haven't seen it. I'll watch that too.
That's such a piece of shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, other than 30 Days of Night, really, there was
I
not
forgot about
very
30 Days.
many
Good one.
good vampire movies.
Well, that's because like they were all trying to like it seemed like a lot of were trying to do like the Anne Rice thing, trying to make them like sympathetic. So there was like very few movies like vampires or 30 Days a Night where they're the villains.
Fucking monstrous animals.
That's probably
And they're
why.
savage. Yeah.
So I really like and I've read all the books, the Anne Rice books, up to the Vampire Armand anyway. So I read like 6 or 7 of them because I was a big fan in high school, and I liked those. But I think that was probably the biggest problem with vampire movies in the 2000s. We're gonna yawn. But like I don't know, like because vampire movies have kind of petered out a little bit, especially with the Twilight effect, and even movies like True Blood. And so when Fright Night, what was that, 2011, 2012, when that came along, and Colin Farrell, he was very savage, as you'd say, and I was like, fucking finally, like. That's probably why I liked it so much, because he was finally doing things that vampires should do.
He was a great Jerry.
Oh, that's terrible. I've seen that.
Oh
one.
shit! Yeah,
I
no.
that one. I own it.
I own it too. I own all 3 of them.
I
remember Dracula 2000. That had a good soundtrack too.
Yeah, to be fair, this is what I have. I don't have the third.
To be
one.
fair. Yep.
That movie, like, I bought this. I was like, oh, I love Dracula 2000 because I do. And then I get this home and Elizabeth, she's like, hey, let's watch the second one. I was like, yeah, it shouldn't be bad, right? Whoa. Oh, it came with a digital copy, so that's good. At least I got that.
I like this guy. He is definitely adding food to the fire.
Yeah, he told us to call him B. Like Valak. Maybe he's a vampire. Anyway, yeah, so God. Anything else? Do you have any more trivia about this movie?
I did, but I kind of forgot now. I should have written stuff down.
I have one that I can remember.
Did vampires have a soundtrack too? Or did it not? Because that was around the time when all these metal, because you remember Spawn had a really good soundtrack.
Spawn had a really good one. Dracula 2000 had a really good one.
There was a lot of great soundtracks coming out around that time. I feel like let me look because I
don't think vampires did. Like you're talking about like multiple artists. I don't think Dracula did. Vampires did.
I don't think so either.
Another good one was Freddy versus Jason. The soundtrack was almost better than the movie.
Let's face it, it's better than the movie.
Slipknot and Seven Dust and shit
that movie just has not aged well.
Queen of the Damned had a good.
Queen of the Damned was another one. Yeah.
Jonathan
Davis and David Draymond from Disturbed.
Well, he couldn't. Jonathan Davis sang them for the movie, but he couldn't do it for the album because of his contract with whoever Korn was contracted. So they got David Draymond and Power Man 5000 guy. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. No.
So one of the other fun facts that I saw while in the credits of the movie.
Yep, The Faculty.
That had a good soundtrack. The Faculty did.
Disturbing Behavior.
Disturbing Behavior. Frank Darabont was actually credited as the guy that got the car stolen. But the funny thing is that in the credits it said guy with Buick. But I guess if you actually watch the movie, it was a Cadillac. So on the credits, it even labeled him wrong.
Was it really Frank Darabont?
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't notice that.
He had hair though.
Yeah,
that's why it was kind of confusing.
That's probably why I didn't realize it was him.
Carpenter talked about it in his audio commentary about how he's like Frank he's like, Frank begged me to be in the movie. I guess they're like really close friends. And then like he said something about how Frank tried to get John to be in one of his movies, and he said he'd only do it if he was gonna kill somebody or if he was to sleep with a beautiful woman.
I'm the guy that's gonna be with a hooker.
Needless to say, it didn't happen.
I love listening to Carpenter's audio commentaries. They're so informative and so fun too. He's got a really dry sense of humor.
Mhm.
You know, he even kind of picks on Frank Darabont a little bit in it, call him a shitty actor. Just joking around, but you know,
well, he's one of those guys that I can listen to like for you know, like forever. He there's a YouTube video up. Let me put this up on the thing. There's a YouTube video of Jonathan Davis singing most of Lestat's songs. Yeah, well, he recorded them, so they should be out there. There was a documentary on the DVD, I think. I think the Queen of the Damned
cannot be forsaken.
That's a great song. First of all, I love that song.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I think that movie is a little underrated. It's not great for the Anne Rice crowd or whatever, because it kind of pushes together the Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned into one, kind of just glazes right over the Vampire Lestat. But like, I went and saw it on opening night because back then, vampires were my shit. And I went and saw it, and I as a fan of the books, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, yeah, I like that song "Forsaken."
Yeah.
I like that whole fucking album.
Like doing David Draymond's voice. Be the only one.
I you know, it's funny because like I'm a big fan of Korn, like especially back in the day when that came out.
Yeah,
old Korn. Yes.
Yeah, and
never eat old corn though. Go ahead.
No, don't eat it, but you can listen to it.
Yeah, but anyway, but like I actually kind of like the idea that he had other people sing those songs because like they all kind of like had almost like kind of like a familiar type theme.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was all different vocals and different. I don't know. I kind of liked the way it worked out, even after.
I love that soundtrack. I actually still have the CD, which I say that because I don't have many of my CDs anymore. But that's one of the ones I know a lot of those songs by heart still. Like I listen to that shit all the time, and part of it was because back then I was writing a vampire story, and listening to that like. I didn't take things from it, but it got me kind of motivated, and it gave me a little bit of inspiration listening to, because Jonathan Davis wrote all of those songs, you know, which is really cool. That's something I'd love to talk about is the Queen of the Damned movie. I love that movie, and people, I used to catch hell for loving that movie. You're not wrong there, Sean. You're not wrong at all. Twilight took a dump. I have a different theory about the Twilight movies. Yes, I saw them all because my wife liked them. And I was like, you know what? I can't judge something without seeing it, you know? So I watched it. It was terrible. I watched the second one. It was worse. I watched the third and fourth. Even there's the worst shit I've ever seen. Not the worst shit I've ever seen because it was well directed or whatever. But I don't think they were vampires. I think they were saying they were vampires. Even though they weren't like out, you know, so everybody knew, but they were like embarrassed of who their lineage really was because they were fighting with werewolves, you know, or whatever they were.
Those weren't werewolves.
No, they're not werewolves. Exactly. So that's the thing. I think they're all faking. I think that
they're a bunch of posers.
I think that the vampires are fairies. They sparkle in the sunlight. I mean, come on.
I think you're onto something there.
They're fairies. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like you can't. That's one thing about vampires you cannot change in their mythology, in my opinion, is the sunlight. That's one that's been in everything since Nosferatu.
Well, to a certain extent, I mean, even in the original Dracula book, the sunlight didn't kill him; it just weakened him.
Yeah.
You know, so and I don't mind that aspect of it.
But that's also Dracula.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't mind the idea of sunlight not killing them, but the whole sparkly bullshit, fuck that noise.
No, they're fairies. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm probably going to listen to the soundtrack after the show tonight.
Bosh about that. Bosh
Yeah.
about those sparkly fuckheads.
They're fairies. I'm telling you.
We're just missing the big ears and the wings, and then boom, they're fairies.
Seth is very well informed, and I expect your list of vampire movies on my desk by 10 o'clock tonight.
Well, it's funny. It's like not too long ago, like a few months ago, I did a list like on my Facebook page, and of course I knew I was going to forget something. But then all of a sudden, I'm getting these comments. Hey, you forgot about this. Hey, you forgot about. I forgot Martin. Of all of them. And this was like not too long after I wrote that Martin review for the website too.
Oh, that was
I forgot
recent. That was like 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got all these great vampire movies. What am I forgetting? And you just typed out the review for Martin. Yeah. I haven't seen Martin.
It's one of those obscure ones, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen that
one
in a long time. So I wouldn't be able to put that on a list because it's one of those ones, when you find this, like, I've never been a director guy, and we've talked about this before. I've never been a director guy, but I'm attracted to guys, all the guys. I love guys. But no, I'm attracted to the directors that really kind of stick out, like Romero. It's Romero, and so I was like, oh, I love Romero's movies, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. So I started seeking out his movies. I saw The Crazies. I saw Martin. So we're talking like mid 90s when I saw these. I've seen The Crazies since, I've seen a lot of these movies. It's been a long time since I've seen Martin because it was hard to find. And I don't know if is it readily available?
Not yet. I mean, I a few years ago they put out a DVD of it and I got it, no problem.
Really?
And then, and then over the last couple of years I've been talking to people and they're like, oh, it's hard to find now. But I guess there is some sort of like 4K or Blu-ray coming out soon. But I actually watched it because I wrote the review, but I love Martin. It's a very unique take on vampirism, like all the way through. And check out our website, horsesyndicate.com, and I wrote a review of Martin.
And don't listen to the subtitles at the bottom because it might say Horse Syndicate for some reason.
I actually love watching like some videos with like the sound off, just so I could read the ridiculousness of the subtitles.
Yeah, because every time I guess something about the way I say the Horror Syndicate, it says the Horse Indicate. I'm like, what?
Oh, you're talking about the amalgamation of the subtitles.
Yeah, like come on. Oh,
YouTube
cool.
does that a lot.
I found Martin.
Oh, what a great show!
I did like that show.
Martin.
But that going back to what we were just talking about before I had to go pee-pee in the pate, but like a list of movies where the soundtrack is almost better than the movie.
Yeah.
Or like just as reminiscent as the movie, because I could think of like 4 or 5 off the top of my head.
Do it.
Well, we already mentioned a couple of them. So we got Freddy vs. Jason, Dracula 2000, Queen of the Damned. Oh, shit. I'm losing it now. I had a couple of more. That's what happens when you go pee. Part of your brain.
That's exactly what happens when you go pee. You lose it.
No one I used to like, but I don't really care for as much anymore is Scream 3. I used to really like that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I put it on my iPod, and like when the songs pop up now, like when I'm at work, I'm just like.
Was that the Creed song? Water. Yeah. Oh, thank you, V. Crow City of Angels. That's another good one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier ones because that came out in '95, I think.
Yep. I remember I actually had that on CD when I was in middle school. Spawn, we said that was a good one. That had some really good.
First Crow.
I was gonna say the first Crow had a good one too.
First Crow, yeah. But I'm thinking more of like the soundtrack is almost better than the movie.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, then City of Angels for sure.
Yeah. Crow City of Angels would definitely fit that bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually like that one, but I'm stupid, so not stupid, but I'm looking.
But see, like that's
on
like
Blu-ray.
it's soundtracks are not the same with movies anymore like they were in the 90s. Like
I
we
mean,
literally have to just dive deep.
They don't really release soundtracks anymore because of they put these things out on CDs and people will buy them now. They can just go download the songs from whatever, and the company who releases it won't see a penny out of it.
Still got my CD player.
Yeah.
Crow City of Angels. That actually had a couple of good ones on there. There was a Rob Zombie song. I'm Your Boogeyman, I think, was on that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. But Nicolas Cage's City of Angels is really good too.
Is that the fucking Goo Goo Dolls song or whatever?
The Goo Goo Dolls.
Hey, I'm petitioning for the lead singer of the Goo Goo Dolls to be in the next Vampires movie. I'm telling you. I miss CDs, man. CDs.
They had a couple of songs on Freddy's Dead, right?
They did, yeah. I'm awake now. Yeah. Fucking Metal Blades, I think was the name of that album. I had that. The Freddy's Dead soundtrack. That was one of the first CDs I ever bought, actually.
They got like Carpenter scores on CD. The Lost themes.
Oh yes.
And I
had the first two, but
third one.
Has he done more than that? More than two?
Yeah, there's a third one.
Oh shit! I'm behind.
This one here.
I'm behind. Is that with Cody and the other guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't ever remember the other guy's name.
Daniel Davies. He actually did some music for Vampires.
All right, check this out. Okay? And Vampires 3 can have these band Goo Goo Dolls can do most of the soundtrack, So they've got I'm Awake Now. You know what I mean by the Goo Goo Dolls. But Chub Rock, Treat 'Em Right. And then 2 days in February on Goo Goo Dolls. They had 3 songs on the Freddy's Dead soundtrack. And then, of course, Iggy Pop's Why Was I Born, which was at the end credits.
That's the one I remember the most.
That was made for the movie, I believe.
And I do remember the I'm Awake Now one.
It's from the beginning of the movie. I'm awake now. Yeah. When I saw Freddy's Dead, I was like, this is a masterpiece. I need to get the soundtrack. And I got it. And it was, I don't even know what happened to it. It disappeared. Because I had it when I was like 11 or 12, and then it seriously just disappeared. Because I love getting soundtracks because, you get a taste of all these different bands, and sometimes you'll find bands that you had never heard of. That's how I found Korn.
Exactly.
Because Korn was on one of those. I think it was on the Spawn soundtrack, maybe.
They might have been.
Or maybe it was the Crow City of. I think it was. Let me see. I'm gonna check the Crow soundtrack. Why am I using my phone? My computer's right here.
Yeah, I don't remember. I listened to Korn ever since Life Was Peachy when I was like in. God, I fucking feel like 7th grade.
Oh yeah. Oh man, listen to this. You got The Cure with a song called Burn. You've got Big Empty by Stone Temple Pilots. Love that song. That's one of my top 25 favorite songs. Rage Against the Machine, Violent Femmes, The Rollins Band, Helmet, Pantera.
What song did Pantera do?
The Badge.
Yes. What soundtrack is this again?
This one is The Crow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So there's some good stuff on there, and then the second one, they did there was a few remakes, like Gold Dust Woman by it's Fleetwood Mac, but Hole did it. I'm not a big fan of Hole, but I like their version. Yeah. I'm Your Boogeyman, Jurassitol from Filter, Bush. I don't really care about Bush. Seven Mary 3, Grace Slick and Linda Perry, Knock Me Out. You gotta love some Grace Slick. Oh, Deftones, a teething song. That's a good song.
Deftones had a good song on there.
I can't remember where I found Korn. But I'm almost certain it was on a soundtrack though.
Yeah. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time for any horror movie. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight.
Oh my God, yes, that's a good one. I never saw the movie until after I got the soundtrack.
Korn was on End of Days. Is that what you're thinking
It
of?
was before that.
Before that.
The Schwarzenegger movie?
Yeah, that movie's
Yeah.
awesome. I don't
Yeah,
care what
that
it is.
movie's underrated.
When Gabriel Byrne walks into
Gabriel
that
Byrne, yes.
and he makes out with that guy's wife and grabs her tit under the dress. That's such a great scene. I'm like, that's fucking baller.
No, but yeah, Gabriel Byrne's character just takes that whole movie anyways. But yeah, there were so many good songs on the Demon Knight soundtrack because you had Hey Man, Nice Shot by Filter.
Awesome
Love
song.
that song. Yeah.
And then one of Pantera's greatest songs, Cemetery Gates, was on there. And then there's a rap song, Machine Head song, Megadeth song.
I love.
I used to have that on cassette. That's how old I am.
What song did they cover from Joy Division? I've never been into Nine Inch Nails.
I love them.
I went through.
Oh yeah. Stigmata had a good soundtrack.
Stigmata,
I
yes.
like that movie.
I definitely went through a Nine Inch Nails phase.
Dead Souls. Yes.
I never did. I never.
Trent's new stuff, I'm not getting behind, but yes, like when we were kids, oh yeah.
Fuck Trent Reznor. He's a rich boy.
Fuck his vacuum cleaners.
Fuck his air conditioning units. His family's rich, man. He acts like he's
He is.
He's a fucking rich kid. Fuck you, Trent Reznor.
Because he's a vacuum cleaner fucking prince.
Not just that, industrial air conditioners. Though where I work, it says Reznor. I'm like, every time I walk past the AC, I'm like, fuck you, Trent Reznor.
I can write music loud. Thank you very
My dad
much.
got me every piece of instrument I need to make music. I'm such a tortured soul. Oh,
Meanwhile, Trent Reznor's at home going unsubscribe.
Trent, he's a big Horror Syndicate fan. He was wearing the T-shirt the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his family.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say if it's an air conditioning unit has Reznor on it, that is his family.
That's his family. Yeah. Trent Reznor, the tortured soul, fucking rich kid. It's tough being rich.
I was going to say the first 3 albums he put out between 1989 and 1994, fucking badass.
What was the first album?
Pretty Hate Machine.
Pretty Hate Machine. That one wasn't too bad, but when he got to the next one, what was the next one? Was that the Downward Spiral?
Yeah, he started doing the double albums after that.
Yeah, it's just I couldn't like
The Fragile.
I remember that too.
The Fragile wasn't a bad album either.
Look, when
that's my favorite one.
I was out. Okay, everybody was singing that one song. I want to fuck you like an animal. It's like, come
on. Yeah, which was such a weird song to put in a chase scene in the Hitcher remake. It was like a car chase scene to that song.
Right. I actually haven't seen that one. That's what got Sean Bean in it, right?
Yeah. It's honestly it's not bad until the end. Then it kind of loses me a little bit. But
I love the opening song.
I feel like this guy V has the answer to everything we're talking about.
I'm glad he's a part of or he's here. I'm assuming you're a guy. I don't want to. I'm glad they are here.
Yes, them.
I'm enjoying this talking about music though. It's fun. We don't really do that ever. Yep. All right.
Well, what a fun show about vampires.
I know. It went off the rails. As soon as I mentioned soundtrack, it was over.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, there's people watching. Are you guys entertained? I mean, what's your favorite horror movie or movie soundtrack from the 90s?
It's like Gladiator. Are you not entertained?
Well, maybe one of these days. Because we're going to be wrapping up soon. Let's do our scores real fast. So we did our the Crow. Oh, we talked about that one. I haven't watched the Crow movie. You know they're making another Crow movie.
I'll believe it when it actually happens. They've been trying to get a Crow movie off the ground
Well,
for 10
I
years.
guess Pennywise is going to be playing Eric Draven.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they've announced casts for it before for the last 10 years. It's until
nothing is better than the one with Eddie Furlong. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want
You know what?
googly eyes playing Eric Draven.
I want him playing Freddy.
No, it's a good one though. I really like the third Crow movie.
Salvation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That had the guy Eric Mambus or something like that.
Yeah.
He was in
That from
Resident Evil. Yeah, I thought that, and I like the way his makeup they did that because it was like burned on him. Thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never saw the show, and I did not watch all of the one with. I think Tara Reid was in it, and Edward Furlong, right?
Yeah, I unfortunately watched all that one.
Wicked Prayer, I think is what it was called.
Yep.
Yeah.
David Boreanaz is in it.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper was in it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Shit.
David Boreanaz too?
David Boreanaz. Yeah, that's the only reason I wanted to watch it because I was a big avid fan of Angel. So, speaking of vampire stuff, yeah, Buffy did it right. I love Buffy.
I like it with Bones.
Oh, did it?
They did?
Tito Ortiz.
Is it Alexander Skarsgård? Is that his name?
That's the guy that did The Northman.
Right. His brother.
Okay.
Not his little brother that did Pennywise.
Yeah, so the little brother is going to be in a lot of stuff coming up. What's his name? Peter? I don't fucking remember his name.
Bill.
Anyway. Huh?
There you go. Thank you. Bill.
Yeah, okay. So
Just
anyway,
call him Googly Eye Skarsgård.
okay. Googly Eyes Skarsgård.
He does.
Bill, you ever see the movie called Meet Bill? It was filmed here in St. Louis. Jessica Alba was in town and everybody went crazy. All right, so we're going to do our scores. We're doing the slash score is what we're calling it for now until we come up with something better. And we did it for Friday the 13th last week. And between Seth and my score, it came out to an even 50%.
Ouch.
I mean, realistically, the Friday the 13th movies aren't great movies. So,
But this was just for the original movie, right?
The original movie, yeah. So I did I've got the whole thing ranked now based on my scores, which did change my rankings, which was really cool. I sat here and did them Friday night while Seth listened to me. And, anyway, so Seth, let's go the highest score to lowest. Jared, you had an 86% on this movie. Tell us why.
I definitely had this kind of higher after seeing your guys' other score. I wasn't sure. I thought mine was too high, but I'm going to stick to it. Obviously, the directing is amazing. I thought the writing was my lowest score. I think they gave it a 7 because I thought a lot of it was just, I don't know. We can talk about it when we do the Ghost of Mars, but it's just that skeezy one-liner talk a lot throughout it, which, doesn't bother me much, but that doesn't drag the movie down. But I think that was my lowest score. I think my highest scores were special effects and entertainment because I know Greg Nicotero and the KMB crew did a lot of good fucking shit on this movie. Like the
Greg
kills.
Nicotero is in fucking From Dusk Till Dawn.
Ah,
I didn't know Greg Nicotero was in From Dusk Till Dawn.
he worked on it.
No, he's in it too.
He's in it?
In a scene with Sex Machine when he reveals his penis gun.
What?
Yeah, he uses the whip to steal the beer from Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that would be like a total quick skip scene. Like you would
it was blink and you miss it. But
yeah, exactly. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was
But
pretty cool.
when you think about this, this was the late '90s, so like this was Greg Nicotero still really young in the
Yeah,
special effects game. This is way before The Walking Dead and all the other movies that he's done. So like the fact that he started one of his bigger productions on this movie, I graded that a lot higher. Trying to think of how. Basically, I thought one of the lower things was the casting.
yeah.
Not a big Daniel Baldwin fan unless I'm watching
Daniel,
Homicide: Life on the Street.
I
If you
mean,
guys remember that show.
the mummy's on the loose and he's dancing with the devil. So
But yeah, you guys brought up that that gal was from freaking Twin Peaks, and I totally never
Cheryl
remember
Lee.
that.
Yeah.
I never remember that.
Well, I had never seen Twin Peaks until was that 2017, I think. And so I was like, oh, that's the girl from from Vampires. She's hot, man. She's hot stuff. I have her on a shirt because I Laura Palmer. Anyway, Cheryl Lee, there's a scene where she's like laying down and you can see like, oh, I was like, oh, you're hot.
And I think the
Words
only
come
thing
up every
that
time. Sorry, guys.
I did not give John Carpenter a 10 out of 10 just because I didn't like some of the other stuff that happened
You
throughout
didn't?
the movie.
Oh my God!
Ah! But for entertainment value, I gave it a 10. So I guess that's still a 10 for John Carpenter in general. I don't know.
I mean, your score came out pretty nice. I mean, I think it's a pretty decent score overall. I mean, Seth's was a little bit lower, but not by much. So you got 86. Is there anything else you want to say before I move on to Seth? Fine, Seth, go. Never mind, Jared, finish.
It's just. I don't think I actually mentioned this on the podcast. This was one of the very first movies I owned on VHS when I was in high school. So if that lets you know anything, I wore this movie out. So
I did too, especially that I kept rewinding.
Fucking loved it. When she was laying face down on the bed?
No, I like boobs. I'm not a butt guy.
Oh, well, her butt looked amazing.
It did. She had a great curve. Yeah. Anyway, Seth, 84% over here.
Hold on one second, guys.
Okay, I was doing this. You had that curve on her lower back up to her. Whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
I remember I was like, why is she naked on the bed?
He's getting notifications from the other one.
You ready, Seth?
Okay, I'm good.
All right, there you go. 84%.
I like his fucking thing.
He posed for like 3 different reaction pictures for so I was like, yeah, I want to do like have these like pictures for our shows, and he sent me that and 2 other ones. So Jared, please send me some selfies of you acting like a crazy person. Go ahead.
I mean, that was like I almost had like 6 beers total in me, and I was just going with it. But anyway, back on track here, fellas.
Yeah.
For the write-in, I gave it a 7. I really liked a lot of the lore and the mythology surrounding Valak, the vampires, the church, and everything that happens. Some of the dialogue isn't the greatest, so that's why I gave it a 7, which is still pretty good. For directing, I gave it a 10 because John Carpenter. All right, Jared, take notes.
Damn it.
I'm only kidding. I did give it a 10, but I'm only busting on you. For the cast, I gave it a 7.5. Like Jared, I'm not big into Daniel Baldwin. I thought he was good in King of the Ants, but in this, he was just,
Should make a drinking game every time Ray mentions boobs. Shot.
Yeah, we'll die of alcohol poisoning. Cool.
I can't help it. I love them all. Every shape and size.
Cinematography, I gave it a 10. Gary Kibbe has been Carpenter's cinematographer since, I think, I want to say Big Trouble in Little China. I think the film looked really good. I really liked the filters that they used to give it the more like reddish tint. I just think it's shot very well too.
That one shot where it's pretty early. Daniel Baldwin and James Woods are on the side of the road with the van or whatever it was, and you can see the sky in the background and the color. This movie's actually beautifully shot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Editing, I gave an 8. Still a good score. Some things I just didn't care for. I didn't care for. But I guess I learned today it's more of John's decision more than an editing decision. But the slow mo stuff that was happening in the motel during Valak's attack. I kind of wish it was like done traditionally. Score sound, I gave it a 7. I think it's a good score. I know what he's trying to go for with this Western type feel. So,
and you gave it 100.
Yes.
We're gonna flag this video.
What were you saying, Ray? No. I was asking what you were saying before.
I gave the score a 5 because of how repetitive it was.
Yeah. Production design, I gave an 8. I like the house in the beginning. I really like the town and the jail at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It looked good. The kills, I gave an 8. I think some of the kills are pretty awesome in this movie, especially Mark Boone Jr.'s death was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The effects I gave, I'm sorry, the effects I gave a 10. I mean, I don't have a problem with any of the effects in this at all. I think they're all fucking gnarly. And for entertainment, I gave it an 8 because it's a lot of fun. It's not my favorite Carpenter movie. It actually ranks, I think, number 12 on my list of all of Carpenter's works, but it's a really fun and entertaining movie. I enjoy watching it. I always have fun watching it. So that is my score.
Yeah, that's something about this movie though. Is anytime I've watched it, I have a blast. Watching it between the dialogue from James Woods and Montoya, and just I love the characters in this movie, and that's one of the things that brings me back to it. Not to mention I like the setting, and I like Valak. It's just a well put together movie, as any Carpenter movie is. Well put together. So let's see. I'm looking at your list now to see where you placed it. So
I did hear another interesting factoid. Initially, Carpenter wanted to have Bruce Campbell play Montoya.
Really? It'd be interesting.
I don't know how much. I mean, I think that would have changed the movie better for a comedy aspect. Because you don't really see Bruce Campbell acting like a badass. Because Montoya kind of, he's a Baldwin. Like I know him from the Homicide: Life on the Street. He always plays a badass, like in everything he does. But someone's watching me. What is the fuck are we watching?
This is Seth's. I think this is where Vampires is.
Oh shit! I have not seen this.
You haven't seen Someone's Watching Me?
I have not seen. I love the shirt. I love the They Live shirt.
Yeah.
Did you know, Seth? I didn't notice this, but I guess YouTube did it, but they split it up into segments. You see the bar?
Oh yeah.
Number 12.
Yeah.
So what kind of commercials do we not get paid for if they split it up?
Well, there's no like commercials or anything in it. It's like you can actually like literally jump to each, like you can literally go to like,
I got you.
1 or 3 or whatever. Yeah, see like right down there. There's like a.
I have not seen
Chapter.
this.
Yeah, you could jump.
I did not do that, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now it makes me want to make more fucking lists. Anyway, so that's on YouTube if you want to see Seth's top 20, well, all 23 Carpenter movies ranked, and that includes Elvis and everything pretty much.
Yeah, and Masters of Horror, which are
Jesus.
TV shows.
He's
Camp
probably not
Lejeune,
wrong.
I lived there in 1987, and I got the email about it, and I called them because I did live there, but it's a scam. I get fucking emails twice a day from that fucking. Anyway, so let's recap real fast, and I'll do mine real fast. Jared, 86%. Seth, 84%, and he's so happy about it. And then there's me. Look at that mug.
Yeah. That's definitely a 76% face.
No, that's actually more of a Friday the 13th score phase. 50%. Anyway, I'm not gonna say much. I love this movie. There's a couple places where it falls short. The score I rated lower. I rated the casting high because I love the cast in this movie. Even the background characters, the first priest, the villain, Valak is great. James Woods great. James Woods great. And then I don't know. I love this movie. It's a really fun movie. I think 76. I thought 76 when I did mine before both of you. I'm like, man, I rated this pretty damn high. Again, because I'm thinking about the Friday the 13th movies, and I wrote how I rated those. And then I get Jared's. I'm like, 86. Interesting. So that gives us the Horror Syndicate's overall score is 82% for John Carpenter's Vampires. Are you okay with that score? I'm going to put this up on the Facebook page and see what our peers think as well. So I love Vampires. I think it's just a fun fucking movie. From Dusk Till Dawn, it got me in the mood to want to watch more vampire movies, and I was like, I need to watch it From Dusk Till Dawn because I haven't seen that in a while. And I propose that we talk about that in season 4 of Discourse, which is in January. What do you guys think? No, give me the thumbs up like in the picture.
How about I give you the Buddy Christ?
Right?
Anyway, so I don't know how often we're going to do these. If you guys like these, let us know. Nate, I'm going to try to get him on board with the rating scale because he didn't like it when I proposed it back in March. But we will be doing these on Fridays for sure. Jared, what do you think of the scale? Did you enjoy doing that, or was it a pain in the butt?
No, really wasn't. It. Except I'm not the type of guy that's gonna really think too hard about editing and things like that. But like the big 4 or 5 kills, effects, execution, director, those kind of things, I have no problem with whatsoever.
Listen, hey jerk, speed kills. So no, I found this rating system, and me and Seth tweaked it a little bit to try to because they had score and sound in 2 different spots. So we put those together, and what was the other one that we put together?
Cast and acting.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we're gonna. Yeah. I like it. I've always wanted to have an official rating system for the Horror Syndicate since the beginning, Jared. I think we've talked about this in 2016 when this began.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to implement this for everybody when they do a review for the website. Use this grading scale. The THS score is, 82% for this movie. I had Arby's for dinner. I'm burping up curly fries, and it's delicious. And it's a wonder that I'm single. Anyway, so
I love this fucking movie. That's all I have to say.
Yes, there's our final thoughts. I love this fucking movie. Seth.
I love this fucking movie.
Yeah. Absolutely. Scream Factory has a great edition out. If you can, get a copy of that. The Indicator set, as I showed, had that little booklet in it. If you can find a copy of that, that's pretty nice too. And it is region free, even though it has the region code on it. Next week, I guess, are we doing this?
Yes, let's do it.
Jared, are you down? You down
I have
for
not
it?
gotten to talk about this movie ever. I would totally be down.
All right. So next week we're going to be talking about Ghosts of Mars, the John Carpenter.
And there's also similarities in the musical score.
Oh God, is it more of dun dun dun?
Damn it.
Is it?
Oh, there's a little bit.
Oh man.
I actually enjoy the score for Ghosts of Mars, especially in the beginning.
There's similarities from every movie he's done since probably They Live. Which isn't a bad thing. Like, he just knows what he's doing.
What's his best scored movie then? Let me ask that.
I love Big Trouble in Little China. That's my favorite.
I don't like that movie.
I know everybody was going to say, oh, Halloween is the best.
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness is not bad at all.
Prince of Darkness is a great score. The Fog.
Yes.
Yeah, The Fog's excellent. Yep.
There's another one. Assault on Precinct 13. It's one of my favorite scores of his that he's
Yes.
done. I think that's a great score.
Escape from New York is not bad either. God damn.
Yep. Escape from New York is great too. Yep.
So anyway, yeah. So we'll finish up our 2022 Year of Carpenter with the Ghosts of Mars, and I'm not sure when In the Mouth of Madness. We actually did a show on In the Mouth of Madness, which is on our YouTube channel. That was Seth's favorite Carpenter movie. But I'm not sure when Nate's coming back. So I'm thinking if he misses a third episode, we should do something kind of wild.
Like what?
No shirt Wednesdays.
You could do that.
No.
I think I
Jared's
could do that. I'm
Jared's
wearing
done
a
it
hoodie,
before.
but I could probably do it.
No, you've been topless on the show before,
I have.
and I know you wear freaking tank tops quite a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Pretty
showing
sure
off
my butt's been on the podcast too.
your ex-wives too.
Yeah. That's-
Okay, sorry.
oh,
Friday.
fuck. Strike that from the record.
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. I think Lex Quinn's ass was too, wasn't it? So Seth and I will be discussing Friday the 13th Part 2, kind of like we did last week when we did the original Friday the 13th. And the week after that, we'll be doing Part 3, blah, blah, blah. All the Friday 13th.
What time do you guys do that?
9. 8 our time.
Well,
8
We've
Central?
Yeah.
we've said 9, but then it's been 9:30, 10
Well, so
o'clock.
last week I had to go to urgent care and I didn't get home in time
Oh,
to start
shit.
early. Yeah, can you make it, Jared?
I have to work, but if I can get my clients to sleep, maybe I can jump on.
Chloroform, man. Chloroform.
I just said Benadryl, but yeah, chloroform works. Jesus, Seth. Do not stay the night at Seth's house. Anyway, so yeah, man, if you can, but you're gonna have to get yourself a Friday the 13th Part 2 score. Actually, you
score?
probably should. Yeah, you probably should anyway, because then we can just average out all 3 scores instead of just me and Seth's 2 scores, and have an overall Horror Syndicate THS score.
Isn't it just an amalgamation of the same theme song?
What? What are you talking about?
The score.
No, I'm talking about the score, as in the score.
Oh, you're at
the
number score.
The number
Jesus
score,
Christ.
yeah. Sorry, this.
I'm sorry. Henry Manfredini's score for Friday the 13th Part 2 is just an amalgamation of Part 1.
Yeah, I meant a number score.
No, I got you now.
We are not drunk. Not today. Anyway, check us out. Oh, and then Tuesday, I don't have any graphics up here yet. The Horror Syndicate. Actually, hold on. I can do it if you. Seth, tell them what's happening on Tuesday.
Yeah, so we're doing a show called the Supernatural Syndicate. There's going to be a couple of us, and it's going to be dedicated to the TV show Supernatural. Our first episode, we're going to talk about the series as a whole, what we love about it, favorite season, top 5 favorite episodes. I was a dickhead and made them choose. And then we're gonna get into each episode. So every week we'll talk about each episode going in order until we get to the end of the season. We'll do a season overview, and then we'll jump into the next season. There's 327 episodes of the show, so we got plenty of content for a while. And Jared, you are more than welcome to join that too. I was going to ask you, but I know how busy you were.
I took a pass. That's too much of a commitment for me. 327 episodes plus all the extra episodes he's talking about.
Yeah, but all you have to do is watch one a week. That's not bad.
Yes.
I know.
What night do you want to do it?
Tuesdays.
Okay.
Make sure you on that page mention the Horror Syndicate so we can get some of these people over to the Horror Syndicate. There you go. Everybody but Luke is wearing a Horror Syndicate shirt.
Way to go, Luke.
Way to go, Luke.
Way to throw off the symmetry.
Luke Hardiman sleeps with the fishes.
He was kicked by a donkey once.
Well, I know he's got pictures of him in a Horror Syndicate shirt. I just found this one of him and took it. So I have one, losers. I know you do. By the way, I'm not trying to get you to buy anything, but we do have Horror Syndicate shirts available for purchase. Just saying. Anyway.
Okay.
I went through those fast because they were talking about getting kicked by a donkey. I actually know a guy who was kicked by a donkey in the head. He had a scar and a stutter and all kinds of stuff. He actually looks like one of the zombies from Night of the Living Dead 1990. The one that Tony Todd hits on his way in and like twists the body around, and he's bald and got. Yeah. Anyway.
Jesus.
I can't do shows anymore. I'm ridiculous. I'm getting more. Yeah, I'm gonna buy. My kids want. My son's growing out of his, so you're so full of shit. Your eyes are brown. So I don't want to give him mine, so I'm gonna buy him a couple for Christmas, and maybe get myself a new red one because my red one's got holes and shit in it. Maybe I should get a tank top to sport with Jared and his neon green tank top. Yeah. Anyway. I guess we'll end on that note because I could go on bullshit with these two forever. And I know Jared's probably got to eat some food sometime. Seth's got to smoke a bowl and
yeah, pretty much.
And drink a little beer. And I'm going to listen to the Queen of the Dam soundtrack. I might watch the movie tonight.
Fuck that movie. Listen to the soundtrack.
I like that movie, okay? I'm going to get myself a Horror Syndicate score.
So, 17. Queen of the Dam versus Dracula 2000.
I like Dracula 2000 better. That's a fun movie. I really enjoy that movie.
Gerard Butler as Dracula. Gerard.
I thought he was good. I like the difference in with Judas being who Dracula. I thought that was cool. It was different.
I did too. But that's also before anybody knew who the fuck Gerard Butler was, too.
Yeah, this was before he dined in hell.
Yeah.
Before he was Mr. fucking Phantom of the Opera. Or Mr. 300.
Yeah.
300 is the one that kind of like brought his career out.
Yeah, it really did. Did you ever see that movie he was in with Katherine Heigl? Where they're like reporters or something like that?
That's a no. I did not see that shit.
Well, it's actually kind of funny because there's one scene where I guess she needs some underwear or something, and he gives her these vibrating underwear, and it keeps going off while she's at some important dinner, so she's getting like an orgasm at dinner or something like that. It's pretty funny.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Anyway, Ugly Truth. Yeah, that's it.
she knows.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it, but it was
I got nothing.
There was a few years where I was just a sucker for a Gerard Butler movie, so I like him. Anyway, don't forget Friday. You get to hang out with me and Seth at about 9:00 Eastern time, or 8 o'clock Central. When we talk about Friday the 13th Part 2, we will give our Syndicate THS score. And I think we're just going to call it that. And then on Tuesday is the premiere episode of the Supernatural Syndicate, where they will discuss a bunch of supernatural stuff. And we're talking about the show with Sam and Dean Winchester. So that's what's coming up. Oh yeah, Ghosts of Mars. Let's not forget about that next week. Yeah,
Don't forget about that.
don't forget about that. So we will see you on Friday.
Jared and what's his face on that other show.
On what show? What?
Their real names, Jesus.
Oh, Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles.
Jared and Jensen. There it is.
Yeah, I like those guys.
I think
My
I'm
wife-
prettier than both of them.
My wife told me that I reminded her of Dean.
You remind her of Dean.
Yeah, she did. She's like, you remind me of Dean a lot. I'm like, why? Because I love pie, and she's like, well, that. But
And you
no,
like
but-
cheeseburgers and
I
stuff
do.
like that.
Oh my god, cheeseburgers are the best.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
So Arby's. I got Arby's tonight because I found out they have burgers now. It was delicious. Not the best I ever had, but it was better than any fast food burger I've had in a long time. So I love cheeseburger. I'm a simple man. I love cheeseburgers. I love pie, and I love boobs.
I think that's I think that is a prerequisite for being Dean. Like
Friday nights up all night.
I like
Yeah,
milkshakes. I like cheeseburgers.
I love cheeseburgers, man.
And I like a good beer.
We don't have a name for the Friday night show, but I kind of do like up all night because it takes me back to the USA days. I'll find a girl to say THS up all night.
I miss those.
Yeah, I do too. I can have Helena do it. Or Ray Boob drinking game Friday night. You might as well wait till we do Friday the 13th Part 5 because there's a lot of boobs in that one. And I'm you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get screenshots of all the girls topless from the movie, but where their nipples are, they're gonna be Horror Syndicate logos. How about I do that?
Do it.
I think that will be a classy.
Classy,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Well, I mean, the fifth movie has the most boobs in it. I think the second movie only has the one girl, and she beeves us in that one. So anyway, I've had enough fun for the night. I'm gonna go and play video games and listen to Queen of the Damned. So you guys have a great night. Do I need to do it again? Because it just makes me so happy. Ah. All right, I gotta find out when Nate's coming back. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube if you haven't already.
It's
And
finally December.
what?
I said
I
it's
bet-
finally December.
I bet you've never subscribed to Horror Syndicate on YouTube. That's what's
They
coming up.
probably have.
All right. Have a nice night, everybody. I'm done acting like a jackass. Bye.